Hi.
Long time no see.
I know. It's what's awesome is we had the transformation challenge this morning, and then as soon as the transformation challenge was done, I went into my astro flipping coaching call, and I just got off the astro flipping coaching call 4 minutes ago, and now we're here. And so it has been a non-stop Sunday, guys. Just incredible day, and I feel amazing. That was the best 3 days I think I've ever been able to spend my entire career in this business. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. It was I've never experienced anything like that. That was just so beautiful. It was truly transformative, and it was so good.
Really, guys, like you don't know this, but behind the scenes, backstage, when we finished, Emily, myself, and Brittany were backstage, and we were literally in tears for like 5-10 minutes. You just sat there and we cried at just how incredible the last 3 days have been.
We just cried, and we were like, thank you, like thanking each other, loving each other. It was pretty funny. Not funny, but
awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah. You guys, if you weren't there, you need to stay tuned for the next one. These challenges are truly priceless.
They're so good, and they give us so much. But outside of giving us technique and tools, they're inspiring, they're motivational, and they show us just how simple this business can be if we don't overcomplicate it, right? And what do I mean by overcomplicated it? What I mean by overcomplicating it is by doing one activity for a couple of days and then deciding, oh my God, this isn't for me, and then trying another thing, and then 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 never getting anywhere. Another thing that can hurt you is when you are not doing all of the necessary steps required to get this business right. And by that, I mean understanding freaking comping, right? How many times have I been on a coaching call or on this show or on Wholesale Hotline, or somebody in my DM sends me a deal they've got, and they're just totally out to lunch on what the property is worth. They've just not comped it, or they didn't learn how to comp it right, or they just got so excited that a seller said yes, that they'd be interested in selling, that they didn't pay attention to how much that property was actually worth. And so this is why, guys, no matter what happens, no matter where you find the lead, you can use batch leads, and you can text people, you can cold call people, you can use Privy and go direct to MLS and get deals off the MLS. You can go agent outreach. You can do what Pace and Brent teach and cold call and get really, really intentional with sellers and teach and talk to sellers with persuasion and get them to and sell them into accepting your deal, whatever your offer, whatever that is. But if you get this part wrong, what's the point? You're just locking up houses that aren't deals. So again, guys, this is the foundation of wholesale real estate. Understanding value is the only way that you're going to get to the check. Okay, it's the only way to the check. Thank you, Jeff. The transformation challenge was absolutely awesome, and I agree with you. These are the appraisal rules that we use when we are comparing properties. So first and foremost, I only compare two properties that are in the same subdivision, and they need to be within 250. This is a little outdated. We're going to change this document. It needs to be plus or minus 250 square feet. But the same property type, right? So I only want to compare ranches to ranches, 2-story to 2-story. If my property is in a historic district, I only want to compare it with other properties in a historic district. Or if my comp is in a historic district, I only want to compare I want to make sure my subject is in a historic district. You get what I mean? Okay. Now, you want to make sure that when you're comparing two properties that you don't cross any major roads when you're pulling your comps. If you're crossing a highway, if you're crossing a major artery, a major road, then you're very likely leaving the subdivision, and it's a good chance that your comp's not going to be viable. I would rather you go back in time than leave the subdivision, because an appraiser will go back in time before they will do gymnastics to help you justify value. I will give you an example. I had somebody send me a house, and near it, there was multiple after multiple. Like the subject property that I got sent was 1,500 square feet. And right beside it were multiple comps that had sold at 1,500 square feet. But the guy who sent me the deal wanted me to use a comp to about a half a mile away. And he said, my realtor said that you can use the comps within plus or minus an entire mile. But now the comp that he wanted to use was a different year build. It was a single story. My subject was a 2-story, and it broke all the rules. And I tried to ask him, I said, how would you think that an appraiser would ever take the comp that you've sent me, which is completely different from our subject, and ignore the 5 properties, the 5 remodeled sales right next to your house? How would you ever expect an appraiser would do that? So this is why we use these appraisal rules, guys. You want to make sure that your properties that you're comparing are within plus or minus 10 years of construction. They got to be within the same build generation. Now, not all properties are going to be the same. You might have a 2-bed, 1-bath, and you're comparing it with a 3-bed, 1-bath. And so you need to be able to know, what is that bedroom worth? Or what is an extra bathroom worth? Or what is a pool worth? Or what is a garage worth? Or a carport? And these are the adjustments we make. And then, of course, guys, you want to make sure that you're adjusting for traffic or commercial. If you are siding, fronting, or backing traffic or commercial, you have to make adjustments for that. And these are how we do them. So under $500,000, you would make a $10,000 adjustment for siding, fronting, or backing traffic. And over $500,000, you make a 10 to 20% adjustment for siding, backing, or fronting traffic. And guys, if you have an additional dwelling unit or a basement, you can only ever give 50% of value for that additional square footage. Now, let's put these rules into action. Emily, let's go.
All right. Let's go. There were some of you in here like a whole hour, 2 hours before we started.
I mean, that's dedication, right? That's somebody who's like, you know what? I need to know how much my house is worth, and I'm willing to wait here. And we appreciate that, guys, because that's when we know, like, that this show actually means something, and that you guys appreciate it. So thank you for loving on us like that.
Sorry, I got a little squeaky toy in the background. Okay, Dominique, we're starting with you, and this address is in Maryland.
Okay.
Address is 2527 Aruna Avenue, Arunah.
2527 Aruna Ave in Baltimore, Maryland is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1612 square footer that is available on market for $155. Now, guys, it's been available for 173 days. So what does that tell us? That tells us that this is overpriced, right? So right off the hop, we know $155,000 is too much money. Also, we know that nobody likes it because it's only been viewed 200 times in the 173 days that it's been available. So we know that at $155,000, we are way overpriced. Let's see if there's been any price adjustments that they've made since having this thing listed. Now, it was listed in August of 2021 for $160, and they've only dropped $5,000 since August of 2021. So what else does that tell us? That tells us that this seller is totally unmotivated, completely unmotivated. They're unwilling to lower their price. They're unwilling to make any adjustments less than $5,000 in however many months that this has been available. So what are the likelihoods that this is a wholesale deal? I'm going to say very low, probably like 5% low, but let's check it anyways. So we got a 3-2, 16-12 square footer listed at $155. And guys, the reason why I say that stuff out loud is so that you guys can start to understand how I'm thinking about things. When I'm looking at a deal, you know, what are the original things that are popping into my mind, right? What inferences am I drawing?
I love that you do that. I think it's super helpful for people to hear those things.
Yeah, just to see, right? To understand, like, why is he saying this or that? So we have a sale at 110 that was 1824 square feet, and this is from 2021, and so that's 225 square feet larger than our subject, and it's sold at 110. So we're already $40,000 above that. Here's a 122 sale, but it was from 19, so I think we can do a little better than that. Here's a 170, but that's 2,200 square feet, so not viable. We need to find something that's 1,600 square feet and remodeled if we can. Here's a $100,000 sale. And you know what? This appears to be in not terrific condition, but dated, but, you know, livable. And that's sold at 100. So again, that tells us that 100K is where this thing should likely be trading at for something that's livable. Here's a 104 at 1319 square feet. So I think we're getting multiple comps here are showing us that, you know, 120 is probably the right number. But then here, look at this guy right here. We have a fully remodeled one, 1102 square feet at 195. All right. So this helps us immensely. That tells us that we'd probably be worth around $200,000 with a full remodel. Okay, so let's take the 200K and let's figure out what we need to be at in order for this to be a deal. So if the ARV is 200, and I'm going to say that at this price or at this age of build, let's look at the year build. It looks like the house is in decent condition. Okay, so it's not going to need a full gut, but it's definitely going to need a full cosmetic. So at 200 ARV, and we're in Baltimore, Maryland, so you probably want to be at about 65, 70%. So I think this needs to trade at around 135. 135. So they're not totally out to lunch, but they're about $20,000 higher than where it needs to be. So I would offer these guys 135, 130 and see what they say. On we go. What's next?
Whoops, I was muted. My bad. Next is in Washington.
Okay, is Washington? Okay, I'm ready when you are.
No.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, could you hear that?
Yeah.
Was that who was that? Was that Greg?
It was Siri.
Oh my God. Your Siri's a man? So weird. He's like, no. Shut up, Siri.
Okay, Washington.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Okay,
I don't know what just
I'm ready when you are.
1721 South 58th Street. That's in Tacoma. You're serious, man. Everyone's laughing.
1721 South 58th Street, Tacoma, Washington is a $431,000 listing. 3-bed, 2-bath, 2442 square foot house. Now, guys, this only been on the market 2 days and it's been viewed 1,700 times. So that's good action. Let's look at the property itself. The property looks dated, but in pretty decent condition. Actually, in pretty incredible condition, but it's dated. It needs a full cosmetic remodel. Okay. Actual square footage, it says, is 2442, but that makes me feel like they've added in some basement square footage here. So we have to be careful. The comps that we use also need to have basements, or we need to remove the basement square footage and adjust. But let's see what we can find when we actually get into the comps here. So let's take a look. Here's our subject. We got a 500 sale at 2303 square feet. This one was built in 95. Let's see when ours was built. Probably somewhere very similar. '64. So that 95 build is going to be difficult for us to use because it's too new. So let's see if we can find anything else. Now, I'm not saying, for sure we can't use it, but it's so far off that we've got to find maybe something else that's closer in our build generation than that. So that's a single story. Can't use that. Too new. Okay. So this tells us that we're probably, because that's older than our subject. Also a 2-story and smaller. So that gets us to about 500 based off of that sale. Let's see if we can find anything higher. It's too big. It's a single story. So the 660 would have been awesome to use if we could have. But now I'm starting to feel like we need to find something in the 6s. Like we got to be worth $600K. Here we go. 2-story. It's a little bit larger than us. Built in 77, so it's viable. I think this gets us to about 5.25. Let's see what else there is. too big. $525, Emily. $525. Now we're in Tacoma, Washington, so we probably want to be at about 70% ish. I think 375 is where you need to lock this thing up. 375.
Awesome. Steven asked, what percentage of ARV would you use in Atlanta metro? Mark.
Well, Atlanta is kind of, it's been increasing. I used to be at 55% in Atlanta, but now I'm at about 65% for cosmetic. If it's a full gut remodel, I'm at about 55%.
Awesome. Our next comp is in Texas.
Okay. On we go to batch leads. I'm ready when you are. And guys, this incredible, wonderful Straight Outta Compin show is sponsored by our beautiful friends at Batch. Would you mind sharing the link if anybody still doesn't have batch leads and they need to figure out how to comp? They can absolutely check out Batch.
You got it. It is in the chat for you guys, and the address is 904 Clinton Street. And that is in Brenham, Texas.
Got it. (904) Clinton Street, Brenham, Texas. Is, it doesn't tell us what year it was built, but it's an 1152 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath. So it's problematic that we don't know what year this house was built in. So I'm going to see if I can Google it and find it on another platform to possibly give us that information. Does Redfin tell us? 86. Built in 86. So sometimes you just got to Google it, guys, so you can get all of the data. So 86 built, 1152 square footer. Batch's value estimate is 166.
Luis, go ahead and just type your property in the comments and we'll get to it.
So we got a 1,300 square footer that sold for 230. I think that gets us to about 200 so far. See if we can find anything better. That's too big. Here's a great one. $249 divided by 1340 is $185 a foot. Multiply that by 1152 square feet takes us to about 215. So we're at about 215 now. Let's see if we can find a 230 or anything even better than that. Oh my. And here we go. Here's a 276 divided by 1311. That gets us to 210 a foot. Multiply that by 1152. That takes us to about 240. 240 ARV. Is there anything else? Oh, and wow. Here's a 260 at 1280. Let's see, this is a process, guys. We got to go through it all. And this is how we know we're doing it right. $203 a foot times 1152 gives you a 235 ARV. And I think that might cut it. Let's see if there's anything else. Anything else? I'm going to call it a 240 ARV, Emily. 240 ARV. Get
Your
find the
commentary.
next one. To say what?
Your commentary on that one was really getting me.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying out loud what's happening in my head. I'll be right back. Find us the next one.
Okay. All right, guys. I guess Jamil just left us. No, but I did see a question that I believe David asked. He said, do you have a percentage list per city? So Jamil did make one, like an ARV sheet for all across the country, but that is one of the things that is supremely exclusive to astro flipping students. So if you want to join the free astro flipping Facebook group, that's where you can squat up with them and they can help you. Oh.
All right, what's next?
Alrighty, our next one is in Georgia, in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Hotlanta.
Oops. Your screen, there we go.
Ready when you are.
268 Chappell Road, Chappell, Northwest.
I think it's 268 Chapel Road. It would be
Okay.
Chappelle if there was an E at the end of it. So I think it's 268 Chapel Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. 3-bed, 1-bath, 940 square footer. This one was built in 1948. They just bought it for $8,000. $8,000 in January of 2021. So a year ago, not just bought it. They bought it a year ago for $8,000. I imagine this house is in terrible condition. And then they tried to list it in June for $129,900. They couldn't sell it. And then in July, they went to $119,000 and they couldn't sell it. And then they delisted it at the end of July at $119,000. So this kind of gives us an understanding of where the owner is mentally with respect to what they want to sell this house for. I imagine they're going to try to get $120,000 or more. But it may not be worth that because no one wanted to buy it in July at $120,000. And again, guys, this is the hottest market in the history of the country. So I think this house is absolutely worth less than $120,000 in its current condition. So let's see where it needs to be at. Here we are, 940. Look at this. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,072 square footer sold for $299,000. So let's get this dollar per foot. Multiply that by a 940. That gets us to 260. 260, which makes sense considering that they listed for $120,000. Is there any higher than 260 that we want to use? And I don't know that we will find anything. Okay, I think 260 is the ARV, but I also think that this thing is going to need a full gut remodel. Full gut. So with that said, you probably want to be at, 45% of ARV on that. So 260 times 0.45. I think it needs to. Well, they had it listed right where it should have been. 117 would be my number. I don't know. They didn't sell it for 119, so something tells me that the condition of that house is pretty bad. So I would say maybe offer them 85. See what happens from there. 90. On we go. How many viewers do we have on here today? I can't see.
We have 166 across all of our platforms.
166 of you guys. Do us a favor and hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button so that YouTube knows that people get some value out of this show. All right, on we go.
Okay, next one is in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
408 South 112th Street.
.408 South 112th Street, Seattle, Washington, is a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1630 square footer that just sold in February of 2022 at 4.25. Looking at this property, it looks dated AF, but really clean, right? Like beautifully, like really, really cute and clean. What a cute little attic space here, but dated, right? This house needs a complete cosmetic remodel. And they paid $425. So what could this thing be worth? The Zestimate on it is only $400. They paid $25K above the Zestimate. Well, here's a $490 sale, but only at a 780 square foot, and this was fully remodeled. So we know we're above $490. In fact, we're probably above $500. What's this 560? Here's a 560 1120. So, and that's remodeled. So we're above 560 because of our size. Where else are we? Could we be at 600? Nope. What about here? My gosh, 610. 610. We're higher than 610. I think that comp there gets us to about 6.25. 6.25. So if we have a 625, I think you need to lock this thing up at around 440. And what's it listed at? Well, they bought it for 4.25. See, they got a deal. What did I say to buy it at? I didn't say 4.25. I said 440, right? So I think go offer these guys 440 and see if they're willing to trade. But they paid 425, which was a good price. So kudos to them.
All righty, we're going back to Texas.
Texas. I'm ready when you are.
1805 Sakowitz, Sakowitz Street in Houston.
1805 Sakowitz Street, Houston, Texas. $1930 build, 1,036 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath, single-story house, no pool, no garage, 5,000 square foot lot. See what it's worth. So we're above 120. We're above 175 based on that one. This is 215. Well, let's use the dollar per foot here because this works. 215 divided by 1294, 166 a foot times by 136 is 172. So we're still above that. So I'm going to call this at 175. 175 ARV, Emily. 175.
Awesome. Now to California.
Cali. It's where I am right now.
I know, I was about to say. Alrighty,
Okay.
37480. Daval, D-A, there we go. Right in Rancho Mirage.
Okay. 37480 Daval Drive, Rancho Mirage, California. We've got this what looks like a mid-century modern, and it looks like they've done some remodeling here. So I'm just gonna tell you what comes to mind when I see something like this. 41 days on market. Okay. Price cut of 25,000. Looking at the pictures, it looks like they've done remodeling here. You've got a remodeled bathroom. It's not great, but it's remodeled. You got a remodeled kitchen. I would not be looking at this as a possible wholesale deal. Right off the hop, I wouldn't be wasting time on this. Nonetheless, let's check it anyways. Here's a 710 1960 square footer. '69 build. Oh, and it's part of a community. So I don't necessarily want it, but that's a full gut remodel there. 710 for 1960 square feet. And let's just go back to our 1,600 square feet. So just, and yeah, the reason why you can't use this because it's clustered in that little townhome, patio home place. So I wouldn't be comfortable using it. Here's a 680 at 1224 square feet, but it has had much nicer updates to it, and it has a pool, which in Rancho Mirage means a lot. But I think that gets us to about 700. So this is at 600K, so not terrible, right? So how when I first started this whole looking at this house, I was like, why are we wasting time? Well, this is why. Because there's possibly a deal here. Dumb Jamil. I don't think this 940 makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it could be one heck of a remodel to get it there. I don't know. I don't feel confident using it. Now we have to make an adjustment for being on Daval Drive, which is definitely going to reduce our value. But I think with a stellar remodel, you could be worth 700. Well, no, you got to take that road into consideration. So if it's 700 and now we got to take off 20% for the road, it's 140. So you take 700 minus 140. I mean, it's listed at ARV. 600K is ARV for it being on the main road. It's not a deal.
Not a deal.
It being on the main road, I think, is what's causing the confusion here, because they haven't been able to sell it for 600K. Mind you, they think they've remodeled the house. They haven't. It's not a good enough remodel to fit the neighborhood. That's the first mistake they made. The second mistake they made is it's on the main road and it's at a higher price point. And nobody wants to pay $700,000 for dead cats. Why do I say dead cats? Because that's what happens on a main road. It's worth what it's listed at. On we go.
Alrighty. We're going to stay right here in California.
Okay.
Address is 227 East Altadena Drive. In Altadena, yeah, California.
227 East Altadena Drive in Altadena, California. You can see just by the photos here that the house needs some love. The garage door's falling apart. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1362 square footer. Zillow's estimate on it is $930, and it's listed at $897. Been available 168 days, which tells me right off the hop, overpriced. Let's look at the listing history. This was listed in September of 2021 at $997. And they have gone down and down and down and down and down. They've gone down to they dropped it $100,000 in January of 2022, and nothing's happened. They went pending in February at $897, and then went back on the market 6 days later. I bet you this was a wholesaler in here trying to thinking this was a deal, because it was once listed at $997, but when it was listed at $997. It was a crazy price anyway. So just because it went down $100,000 didn't make it a deal. Well, let's see where it needs to be in order for it to be a deal. And here we go. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1222 square footer on Pentagon Street. What a neat street name. Full remodel, gorgeous remodel.
Oh, wow.
Sold for 1.2. Let's see, does this have a pool? Does it have a premium lot? What else does it have going for it? Sitting on a 10,000 square foot lot, 1949 build. I don't see a pool. It does have some very nice landscaping. $1.2 for a 1222 square footer. And our size is 1362. Ooh, man, I think we might have a deal here. 1.2 million. Let's see. Let's check all these things in here. 75. That lot is bigger, so we have to take off a percentage. We have to take off a premium for that lot. So we got that lot definitely has some value. I'd say it's probably got about a 10% value to it. So at 1.2 million, take off 120,000. So 1,200,000 minus 120,000 gives us an ARV of $1,080,000. I think you got to lock this up at 760, maybe 800. Go give him 800. At 800, it's a deal.
Dang, how long did you say that one was on the market?
Quite a while.
Okay.
I'm checking the ages of the home. I'm making sure that they're staying within 10 years of construction, Christopher. Cool. What's next?
Next is Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa. Okay.
548 East Holmes Avenue. Holmes.
548 East Holmes Avenue, Mesa, Arizona. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1196 square footer. Zillow's estimate on it is $321,000. Here's our subject. Here's a 365. I think that 365 is 100 square feet larger, so let's adjust for that. $281 a foot. That gets us to about 340. See if there's anything larger than 340, anything better than 340 nearby at our size. Here's a 395, but again, larger. 1489 square feet. Let's see the year of that build. 75. $71, so that fits. That gets us to about, no, still no good. So we're still at 340. See if there's anything else here that fits our size. That's $345 ARV, Emily.
Alrighty, I got another one in Arizona.
Okay.
This one's in Phoenix. 4537 North 100th Drive.
Okay. 4537 North 100th Drive in Phoenix, Arizona is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2019 square foot. Looks to be in dated condition. Been for sale by owner, which again, I'm just going to share with you guys the way that we think, right? A for sale by owner typically are always overpriced. Why? Because these are the kinds of people that don't want even real estate agents helping them or making money on their deal or making money on their property. So the mentality of a for sale by owner is typically not one where you're going to find an opportunity. Now, with that said, I have bought for sale by owners that were great deals, so I don't tell you not to look at them, but you have to walk into them knowing that 9.9 out of 10 times they're going to be overpriced. But then we see how many days this has been on market. 80 days in the hottest market in the history of the United States is an eternity. And for 80 days, they haven't been able to find a buyer for this at 440, which tells us this is absolutely overpriced. They bought it in 2019 for 257, and then a couple of years later, relisted it for 440. 440. It has a pool. Let's see some more details on it. Built in 81, 4.2, 8,200 square foot lot. Let's see what it's worth. Now, it looks like it's on a golf course. If that's a golf course or not, I don't know. Looks like the shittiest golf course I've ever seen.
Yeah. This looks like one of the Arizona neighborhoods where all the houses look the same.
$2,000 square feet. So here's a 380 that sold in 2022 that appears not to be a full remodel, but you know, and it's a little smaller than ours. So that says that ARV of ours is probably about 400. And what are they listed at? $440. Okay, so ARV right now looks to be 400. They're listed at 440. And yeah, that's it. So if ARV is 400, where does this need to be bought at? 300. So they are 140K overpriced for their current condition. So again, it's just something to keep in mind, right? You want to create a narrative in your head of what you're looking at so that you don't get stuck chasing shit deals or houses that are not deals. They're just houses. On we go.
All right. We're going to Florida.
Florida.
66.
Hey, you know that rapper from Florida? His name was Flo Rida.
Yeah.
If you just put Flo Rida together, it's Florida.
Florida.
Damn
Thank
it.
you, Jim. You taught me so much today. 6671 Fiesta Way in Fort Myers.
6671 Fiesta Way, Fort Myers is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,038 square foot house that sold in January of 2022. So about 3 weeks ago at 195. The Zestimate on it is 197. The quick comps show us a possible value of 254, maybe even a 290, maybe even a 305. Well, let's see.
People are in the chat singing what apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
They're
Oh my God.
just playing off each other.
They're just because I'm an idiot.
You were still in thinking out loud mode, huh?
I know. I can't stop myself. So here's a 305. Oh my gosh. Divided by 1142. That's 267 a foot. And then multiply that by the size of our house, which is 1038. So that gets us to about 278, 280. I think that might be it. 280 ARV. 280 ARV. They paid 195, and I would have told you to buy the buy price as $196. So whoever bought this got it right on the money, and then now they're trying to make a profit on it. I think they just need to flip it, but I wouldn't pay more than $206 for this. Maybe 210. Maybe 210, but that's it.
Alrighty, next one is in Rhode Island.
I'm ready.
297 Harrington Avenue in Warwick. She said there are 2 1-bed, 1-bath houses on one lot.
Okay. Well, it's a multifamily. Do we know the rents?
Oh, it's multifamily. No, she did not tell me the rents.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, back to Georgia.
Okay.
2651 Harmony Way. 2651 Harmony Way in Atlanta.
$2,651 Harmony Way, East Point, Georgia, is a 4-bed, 1.5 bath, 1,054 square foot property. The Zestimate on it is $194,000. This was built in 1950. It's a single family house on an acre of land. It does have a garage that's detached. Let's see what it's worth.
Oh, she sent us the rents.
So we got a 212 ARV here. See if there's anything higher than a 212. There's a 240 ARV. 240. Let's see if there's anything higher than a 240 for our size.
Nope.
Looks like 240 it is. 240 ARV. 240 ARV. And unfortunately, that's going to be our time because I do need to hop on a plane, get into an Uber, and find my way back to Arizona so that I can make it home in time for Wholesale Hotline tomorrow. Guys, thank you all again, and filming and the other things that have to happen in my life. So I got to make it on a plane, and my plane leaves in 1 hour, and I still have to get to the X. So I wish all of you guys a fantastic night. Thank you all for tuning in to the 3-day transformation challenge. I hope that you got a tremendous amount of value. Emily, again, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being the most incredible teammate that a person could ever have. I love you tremendously. You are so great. Take the next few days off. Enjoy your time off. Kick your feet up and feel goddamn proud of yourself for how amazing you are, because you are a credible person. You crushed it today. We all love you so much. And for the rest of you guys that tuned in, I hope that you gained a tremendous amount of value from everything that we do here. We love you. And if you guys are available tonight, Pace will be starting Sunday service in an hour. Take care, everybody. Good night.